15 minutes is all it takes to jumpstart your day as powerful entrepreneurs share what they do so you can be successful too. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Success.
It's a great day in every way. Hey, I'm your lady, Dr. Lotus Riché, and you saw me earlier talking about leadership. And I've got to tell you, our guest, all the way from Nigeria, he's here. I shared with you earlier that he was traveling. This young man helps start up, he mentors them. He works with professional people in the developmental field. And he is also one of the leaders at Uwamba Leadership Center. He works with nonprofits and he helps empower people with a power-packed message that helps move them from procrastination to their process. And so I want you to welcome with me, the Honorable Remy Chukwunyere. He's backstage, but while he's coming in, I'd like you to take your phone and come on in and get in where you fit in on 15 Minutes of Success, because we are going to be talking about leading with integrity in the age of uncertainty. Now, earlier, I talked about it. I also talked about what makes leadership both difficult and vital right now in this day and age. But guess what? I've got him in the hot seat because I've got some questions that many of you want to know about. I know you want to know about some things. So guess what? We're going to share with you some of the questions that we've got in. So with no further ado, the next voice you're going to hear from me is Mr. Remy Chukwunyere, all the way from Nigeria. So come in and share out the broadcast. Featuring Mr. Remy Chukwunyere. All right, it's a great day in every way, and I've got with me Mr. Remy Chukwunyere, all the way from Nigeria. Hello, my brother. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fantastic, and I thank God that I'm finally here with you this morning. Thank you so much, Doc.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'm delighted to have you. How was your trip? I know you just flew over, and you're going to be speaking at an event, and we're going to talk about that later, by the way.
Oh yeah. It was a long trip. Flying from Nigeria, I mean Abuja to Turkey, and from Turkey to Houston. Oh my God, I don't think I've ever had that long journey before.
Awesome. But you're here now, and that in and of itself, that is a blessing. So I want to get right into our topic today. Leading with integrity in the age of uncertainty. What makes leaders both difficult, and vital? Why is this difficult and vital right now as far as leadership? So that's our topic today. So when you come in, go ahead and let us know where you're streaming in from. Tell us what city or state or even what country you're in. And I encourage you, make sure you take notes, because this is going to be power packed, because actually Mr. Chukwunyere is here in the United States. So if you want him to be a speaker while he's here in the United States, let him know. See, I'm volunteering. So let's get right into it. So in your opinion, why is it so important that people understand what leadership is about and integrity?
Fantastic. So let me start this way. Leadership is all that makes the difference. Whether you are leading a company, whether you are leading a nation or a state, or championing a cause, leadership is all that makes the difference. Mm-hmm. That is it. That's a summary of how important great leadership is. So someone may ask me, what is this leadership? Now, leadership is the ability to influence, inspire, and guide others, whether members of your team or your followers, towards achieving a shared goal, a common goal.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not about authority, it's not about show of power, it's about a vision, communicating with empathy and leading with action, so that jointly all of you members of your team, will be able to achieve the goals that you have set out to achieve. So that's what leadership is all about.
I like that you said it's not just about a show of power, because a lot of times we're taught that leadership is about power. It's about dominating others. But what I'm hearing you say is what I talked about earlier, that leadership is the ability of an individual or a group of people to really influence and guide followers and members of the organization, the society, or the team. And even to go a step further, it's to also create great leaders that follow you. And so we talked earlier on the show that leadership is defined by three outcomes: the direction, the alignment, and the commitment. And it's a social process. So can you talk a bit to those key things and why those three things are important: the direction, the alignment, and the commitment?
Yeah. First of all, great leaders, uh, they share the vision with their followers. So they provide a clear sense of purpose and direction, because he or she is the head. So he's the one, that has the responsibility to inspire others. He understands where they are going, what the vision is about. He's the one that understands it more than every other person. So, the success or failure of it depends on him or her. So that's why it's important. So the great leadership gives direction and vision. It makes it clear so that every member of the team will be able to understand and follow. And again, it also has to it also has to do with inspiration and motivation. How do you carry everyone along? How do you make sure that they contribute their best towards achieving this vision that you all have set out to achieve? These are very important. And again, I don't know the other one you talked about, but again, another thing, again, it has to do with empowerment. It must not be all about you. Everything about your team, your country, your group must not be about you. You have to empower your members, your team members, to be able to also contribute. So that's important, because you don't know it all. It's not possible that one person knows it all. So that's why it's important you give others the opportunity to also contribute, because there are things they know that you may not, at the moment, you may not understand, or there may be information that they have that you do not have. So that's why it's important, you run an open system where people are free to come to you, to talk to you, to relate with you. There are systems where everyone is afraid to talk to the leader. They are afraid because they don't know how you're going to react to their suggestions or to the information they want to pass to you. So they keep silent. They keep hiding things from you. Unfortunately, they may have wonderful things, wonderful ideas that will help move your team to the next level. So if you give them that opportunity, you see them coming to contribute, to share. And again, that leads me to let me just go back. Let me wear my cap, my startup mentorship cap. At times, yes, that's what we call brainstorming. When there's a challenge, as an issue that maybe you are the leader, you're confused, you don't know how to go about it, you can invite your members for a brainstorming session. a brainstorming session. Say, God, see, we're in trouble. What do we do? How do we get out of this mess?
Exactly.
Yeah, so so everyone comes up with their thinking caps and say, oh, okay, I know what we can do. I know someone that can help us. I know this, I know that. Before you know it, you have a solution before you. So that's that. Yeah, I just decided to bring that on. I don't know if I should continue, Ben.
Yes. I think that's great to say, because a lot of times, I know here in the United States, and I've traveled abroad. Sometimes we are conditioned to lead a certain way. We are conditioned to always have the last say as the leader. We are conditioned in many cases that men can lead and women can't. So that's an important issue. We are conditioned to believe that just because we are the founder or the head of an organization, we know best. But we know that, because when we come together and we share and express our thoughts, it really makes the organization better as a whole.
Good.
So I like that. I like what you're sharing. You speaking some good stuff. So everybody out there, if you're loving what he's saying, go ahead and put a 10 in the comment. And I know many of you are joining the show again. I know many of you jumped on earlier, but you're joining the show again, and some of you are hitting replay. We want your 10s in the replay. So go ahead, if you're loving what he said, go ahead and put your 10s in there. And we have our activists out of Patterson, New Jersey. Go ahead and put in where you're coming in from when you join the show, please. She said excellent information. So I love that you shared that, because that does make a difference, and it is important. And so I've got a couple of questions that folks wanted to know about. So I'm going to share them with you. And I encourage you all to take notes. So one of the first questions that we have is that, here it is. You've already shared what is leadership. You've talked about why leadership is, why leadership is important. You've talked about why it's important, because if great leadership isn't in place, then it kind of stifles the voice of people who are part of the organization, and then the organization can't thrive. Okay, so, and I like that you said it has to be a place where people can express their thoughts and their ideas. And so let's talk about integrity, because great leaders should also have integrity. And earlier on the show, one of our viewers said that integrity and leadership go hand in hand. So can you kind of talk about that and why integrity is important?
Oh yeah. Yeah, integrity is very, very, very important, because for your members to believe in you, they must have trust. They must trust you. They must believe you. They must. Yeah, you're not a man of. How do I say it? Yeah. So if you say this is it, they have to believe you. So that's why integrity is very important, and also accountability. As a leader, you need to run an open system. Like I said before, give your members opportunity to contribute. And again, talking about accountability and trust. For you to be able to earn their trust, you need to show that you're a man or woman of integrity.
Right.
The things that are committed in your hands, whether they are finances or resources, you should be able to prove to them that, oh, I can keep all of this for you. I can stand in the gap for you. If
Right.
you're on a delegation, maybe to visit some people, you retain the integrity and maintain the integrity of the group that you represent. Everything about, because you are the face of the organization. That's another important thing. You are the face of the organization.
Right.
So how you behave, what you say, what people see you do, these are the things they would begin to think about the organization. So that's why it's important you are a man or woman of integrity if you are in a leadership position, because what people see you, that's what they think about your organization. And that brings me to my message, my usual messages on personal branding, personal branding. Yeah. So as a leader or as an entrepreneur, how people see you, how they see you, or what they say when you are not there is very, very important. So it has to do with everything about you, your communication on social media, the things you comment about, the things you post about, the things you write about. All of them have a lot to say about you, your person, your business, or the organization that you represent. So that's very, very important. Like I said, personal branding is very important because you need to be able to show that you are a man of integrity. You should be able to say that, to identify with the causes that you promote. So those are important so that people can take you by your words, so that people can also relate and identify with you. That's very important.
I love that. I love that you said that, because it is a reflection on your personal brand. And what's more, I think, to that point is that how you show up on social media has a powerful impact on your brand and others. Because you could be in an organization with someone and you could be a leader and they see you one way. But here's the thing. When you're on social and you show up in a negative way, or they're, like now, we talked about this time of uncertainty, why leadership is important in this time of uncertainty. A lot of times when we get politically entrenched and we start sharing political views that take us away from maybe our spiritual beliefs or what have you, a lot of times people look at us differently, because as a leader, we've gotten embroiled with this battle, if you will, that has nothing to do with our brand. And in fact, most of the time, it doesn't even serve our brand, because often it don't serve the people. And so people begin to look at us differently. So let me ask you this, because this is a question that has come up in multiple arenas. Why is it important for leaders to understand where their brand message starts and ends when it comes to politics and or religion?
Okay. Yeah. The truth about it is, if you are a leader, unless maybe you are a religious leader, you believe in same faith, and you preach the same thing. So that is the only time, you should take sides, based on your faith, as a religious leader. Now, but if you're a political leader, for example, you make sure that you are neutral, when it comes to faith-based issues, and ethnicity-related issues, anything, because you are not leading a particular set of people. You are not leading a particular set of people. So you need to, as much as you can, be fair to all, be neutral on all issues that affect, the diversity, the people that you lead. So that's very important. If you are in a multi-religious society, a cultural society, multicultural society, so as a leader of a group, with membership cutting across the different divides, you have to be very careful so that you don't become unfair to some people based on your own beliefs, or based on your own stance on issues. So so that's very, very important, and it is a problem in the political settings, where people try to play religion, to maybe gain some kind of support at any point in time. They use the religious card At times they also play ethnicity card. I don't know if I should go into that now, but that applies to mostly here in Nigeria, in Nigeria and Africa, where people try to use all those cards, to win some political points and votes. That's not fair at all. That doesn't make you a great leader. If you're a great leader, you must stand, to defend everyone. You must stand to condemn, whatever that is unjust, whether it is to a Christian or to a Muslim. You need to stand firm and say, this is not correct. It is not fair, so bad. That's what happens here, unfortunately. Again, talking about ethnicity, some people also say, oh, I'm from this tribe, I'm from the other tribe, because they want to win political votes. They try to also play some ethnicity cards, and you see that
Right.
you see that playing out in the crisis that we have everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one of the consequences.
It's without question that what you said is hitting home for many people. As great leaders, we must stand firm in the face of injustice, because we talked earlier about some of the uncertainty that's going on in the world. And when we know that something is wrong, we need to not only see it, but we need to say something about it. And we need to help people that are being unjustly impacted to know that they do have support. Like this past weekend for the Ignite Your Life for Life Summit, one of the primary focuses for the Ignite Your Life for Life Summit was domestic violence. And we came together in solidarity from all around the world. We had delegates from all around the world. We had leaders from all around the world, from Ireland, from India, from Nigeria, from Ghana, from the Sudan, from the United States, in various areas in the United States. We came together in solidarity, because if one of us are bound, none of us are free. And just issues just like domestic violence, there are other issues around the world that leaders are impacting every day. And so we need great leaders to come in solidarity and to be in balance, and not play the card of, okay, I'm a politician, or I'm a preacher, or I'm a teacher, but understand that we are these spiritual beings having this human experience. And let's talk about the human experience. Let's talk about civility and humanity, and treat each other in accordance. And I love that. What I got from you earlier is that it's important to have balance as a leader. So I really like that. So let's go right into our next question that we have for you. Who are some of your role models? Who are some of your role models that's helped you become absolutely amazing? Because I know that you are part of a few different organizations where you are helping women and men all around the world to become better. Like, case in point, this organization right here, this Wuyamba Leadership Center. This leadership center is helping young men and women not only to stand in their greatness, not only become great leaders, but also to raise great leaders. And I had the pleasure of being at one of the ceremonies over a week ago, and you had other great leaders in there, and I'm sharing some of this, like Mr. Chris False, and the great keynote speaker Dr. Kareem Ellis was in there, and so many others, and you just graced us and led us during that time. So who are you looking to that is helping you to be the dynamic leader that you are?
That's a tough question. My God, that's a tough question. Yeah, but let me say the truth is that I have different what do you call it, stages of life.
Yes.
But let me just say the last one. Yes. So the when I came across Kiyosaki, Richard Kiyosaki, the the rich dad poor dad guy, I fell in love with him. Richard Kiyosaki, the author of the Poor Dad, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So when I read that book, everything about me changed. Everything about me changed. Reason being that, yeah, it has to do with success. Success. What do you do to become successful? What do you do to become successful? And back in Africa, you see people working for money. And again, because I was part of government when I served in Imo State government of Nigeria under Governor Rocha Sokorocha. I was in charge of job creation and employment. So I was thinking, how do I change the narrative? How do I disrupt the system? Because there's so much unemployment. People are running about looking for jobs that do not exist anymore. So everyone is running about looking for jobs. And then I get people call me on phone and say, "Oh, Remy, please, I need a job. No matter how much they pay me, I want to take the job. I need a job. I need a job." And these are graduates, even with master's degree and all of that, running about looking for jobs. So when I read this book, it changed my message. It helped me change my message.
Right.
So yeah, so I learned that there's so much you can do for yourself. You can turn your ideas into business ventures, into business opportunities, and begin to, first of all, employ yourself and begin to employ others. So that helped me. I began to change my message. And then by the grace of God, with the support of my boss then, who was the chief of staff to the government, His Excellency Ugumba Uchenwosu, who is incidentally the chairman of Ugumba Leadership Center. He gave me a lot of support, and I created a viral and robust startups ecosystem in Imo State during my tenure as the Director General of Imo State Directorate for Employment. We kickstarted a lot of startup development programs, which helped young people begin to, use their ideas to set up businesses. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, you see young people, they have wonderful, amazing, innovative ideas, but they come with lots of money in the budget. They have 10 million naira, that they need to launch out. But unfortunately, when I started sitting down with some of these young people, I helped them, say, look, you don't need 10 million naira to get started. What you need is about 100,000, 200,000. And from steps to step, I took them through the processes. I said, look, this is what you have to do. Start small, start small. By the time you get started, the doors will open, opportunities will begin to come, people will get to know you, businesses begin to come, contracts will begin to come, and money will begin to come. Then, if you want, you can hire an estate for your business. You can, whatever it is, if you want a jet or helicopter to do your business, you have enough money to do that. But if you keep waiting until you raise 10 million naira to get started, you will never get started. Because some people say, oh, I need to hire an office, I need to hire a warehouse, I need to hire a factory. But there are some businesses you can start right there in your kitchen as we speak. So when I came in contact with Richard Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki. Oh God. Okay, so Robert Kiyosaki, that's the correct name. So when I came in contact with him, I read so many other books, the cash flow quadrant and everything. So it changed my understanding, my thinking, and it has been helping me a lot. So I can say he is my role model because he's the foundation on which I am running as we speak. He laid the foundation on which I am running as we speak. Because his messages, I've read so many of his books. They change, they change what I present to young people today, and I'm sure it's been very, very effective. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chukwunyere. I gotta say that I've read the books. Maybe some of them not in totality, but Rich Dad Poor Dad. Listen to the videos as well, and the cash flow quadrant.
Yes.
And many people who I have a business degree as well, and also those in psychology. I have a psychology degree as well. It talks and helps you do critical thinking. Both of these books. And one of the quotes from this book, he says that in school, we learn that mistakes are bad, right? And we punish for making them. Yet, if you look at the way humans are designed to learn, we learn by making mistakes.
Fantastic.
And so we have to make those mistakes in many cases for us to learn. Did you know that every time we learn something, this is scientific information that I received, that every time you learn something, there's a wrinkle that's put on your brain because you learn something new. And I remember when I was a clinical engineer for Kodak, I was friends with a gentleman at one of the hospitals in Greenville, South Carolina, and he would do autopsies on people. And he had just done an autopsy, and he had the brain. And there was wrinkles on that brain. He showed it to me. And one thing that we know is that when we gain knowledge, it is ours forever. So when we learn about Rich Dad Poor Dad, and we learn about the pipe and how things flow when it comes to our money and the cash flow quadrant and why these things are important, and we learn to embrace leaders like Mr. Robert Kiyosaki, like the Honorable Remy Chukwunyere, it changes our life forever. So thank you. So who is one of your other leaders that you look up to, maybe a woman leader?
I can't remember. And for now, but I know so many people have influenced my life, but I can't remember anyone for now, but like I said, currently what I'm doing, is all about the foundation I got from Robert Kiyosaki, So, but again, let me also, maybe I should also talk about my governor, His Excellency Rochas Okorocha. His Excellency Rochas Okorocha. Why I say he is also my role model is because of his leadership style. I don't know, you may not know much about him, but so just 1 minute. So the little when he came on the scene, when he came on the scene,
he's going to share more of his the person that he's speaking of, that we can give you a visual of the person. So you might want this person to be a role model or leader for you too. So go ahead, Rem.
Let me drop his number. Okay, his name. Okay, so like I said, so Rochas Okorocha, so when he joined the political leadership political system in Imo State, he came with he came with a different narrative. Good. He came with a different narrative. This is someone that has passionate love for the downtrodden. Someone that has seen it all. This is someone that at the age of at the age of 17 or 19, he established a secondary school and employed a white man as the principal in Nigeria. This someone at the age of, I can't remember again, I wrote a book about him. At the age of 14 or so, he bought the first television they use in their home and so many other things. He bought a bus at the age of, I can't remember, at a very young age. So when I learned all of this, I was moved. And again, his love for humanity, so he influenced so many of us, and that brings me to what I call, redefining success in leadership. Last time I spoke on the Humanitarian Leadership Network program, I was talking about redefining leadership, success in leadership. Do you choose wealth or influence, or money or influence? Do you understand? So this man came and he formed a movement that eclipsed a sitting governor. A movement that sacked a sitting governor and became governor himself. It's unheard of in Nigeria. Someone that is an incumbent, and all of a sudden, from nowhere, you came with your movement, with your popular messages for the people-oriented policies and everything, and you swept off a sitting governor. That's the man that did it in Nigeria, in Imo State. So I fell in love with his, and by the time he begins to speak, you will see sincerity, and people were almost crying each time he spoke each time he addressed them. So that's why when I speak about influence and money, I try to let people know that if you identify with the problems of the people and come up with solutions, you're going to influence them in ways that you cannot even imagine yourself.
Right.
Because you identify with their problems and you are helping them to solve those problems. So it becomes a movement. It becomes a movement, and that will even make your people, the members, donate their money to support the causes that you support.
Right.
Yes.
So I wanted to just lean back on something you said, because you talked about when he speaks and the endearment that he has with the people, and the people are endeared to him, and his voice changed lives. So I just want everyone to take a moment to hear a moment from him. And we give credit to www.bing.com. We don't own the rights to this video, but we want you to hear a little bit from this young man.
George Buhari's intention. I think he means well, and let's give him a chance. Nigeria is one nation, and is nation for all of us. And we must start thinking about nation first, rather than thinking about the sentiments of where we come from.
So what he said is that we had to start thinking about where we come from, not the sentiments of others. So again, that's the leadership that I talked about earlier. It starts within. It starts at home, that leadership. And so I like that you have strong role models. And so that's absolutely amazing. So I want to thank you for sharing that. So in your opinion, why has the strong role models that you have, why has that led you to be such an amazing person who is well sought after? Because I know that you're here currently in the United States with us, and you're here because you've been invited to come and speak and let people hear from you, let people hear your light shine. You're one of the speakers at the 2025 Business and Entrepreneur conference. So how has your role models and your commitment to leadership led you to this auspicious honor?
Thank you. Thank you. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. Incidentally, the call for leadership, fell on me a long time ago, even when I didn't know what it means to be a leader. You know, yeah, that dates back to when I was in primary school. You call it elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, back in those days, as a primary school student, one day the head teacher called me out and announced that I've been appointed the head boy. He called it senior prefect, the head boy in a primary school.
Huh?
You know, I didn't know what it meant. He just gave me that position and gave the other person the library prefect, gave the other person what again, I can't remember. And he said, I was the head boy, the senior prefect. Imagine at that level, at that age, I didn't know what it meant. I became the leader in primary school. And that continued with me. When I got into secondary school, I was prefect, class prefect. Every year, every class, I was prefect. And in junior secondary 3 or 2, again, I was appointed as the school regulator. you know,
Wow.
so leadership was following me even when I got into the university. It got to the point that I contested for the students' union government as the public relations officer. And I became more popular than even the vice chancellor himself. So I didn't know why leadership, was following me. So it just from there, each time I went to speak in a conference, or okay, sorry, before I forget. So when I finished university and I went to serve the National Youth Service, which is a compulsory 1-year service as a graduate in Nigeria. So back there in where I was in that state, something was pushing me. I didn't know. Something was pushing me in my head. Do this, do that. Each time I watched UNICEF on TV, or each time I watched them on TV, all those things they were doing, like building schools or water projects, something was pushing me to start things like that. So I didn't know. I said, what am I going to do? Now I started organizing. I started bringing young people together. Now I came up with an organization, African Youth Development Foundation. Imagine Africa. It wasn't even Nigeria. And I said, I gave it the name, African Youth Development Foundation. And my sister, I didn't know anything about nonprofit sector. I didn't know. I just started learning about it, trying to refine my thinking. And again, I started approaching some prominent people and leaders I saw around me. I told you that story that day. So I approached one evangelist. She was the commercial manager, regional commercial manager of an NPC where I served. So incidentally, she is also an evangelist. Her name is Evangelist Julie Amego. I respect her so much. So I approached her. I said, "Good afternoon, ma. My name is this and that, this and that. I want to talk to you about my organization if you would like to be a part of it." He said, okay. I don't do my things anyhow. Yes, I know. I say, yes, ma. Yes, ma. Because I know she's an evangelist, a very big woman of God. I say, yes, ma. I know. She said, I don't do my things anyhow. I'm going to pray about it. I said, no problem, ma. Now, do you know the next week when she saw me, out of excitement, she said, oh, my friend, how did she say it? She said, oh, come. I am interested. The Lord is with you. I will be part of it.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
At that stage, that's what she said. The Lord is with you. I will be part of it. And she was part of it. She started supporting me.
Wow.
Supporting me. You know, you can imagine I was just a fresh graduate, a copper, you know, interacting with a management, a director at that level. NNPC, Nigeria, that's Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. You know what that means? I was interacting with one of the directors there as a small boy, young graduate. You know, so that was how I started. But unfortunately, I left the town because of crisis. You know, after my NYSC, I left because of Sharia religious crisis. I left, and we didn't see each other again because there were no phones and all of that. So when I came back home, Imo State, I continued. I didn't allow the vision to die. Those things were still disturbing me in my head. You know, trying to make changes in the society, develop my community, and all of that. So now I heard about USAID, United States Agency for International Development. I said, oh, good. I approached USAID. I went to Port Harcourt from Imo State, where I used to stay, my hometown. So I started going to Port Harcourt to speak to the USAID. My sister, I wrote letters, and I didn't know. They were not professional. I just write and send. You know, so
yeah, you was just doing what you could do.
Yes. You know, so that's why I teach people. You know, you learn on the go. You learn on the go. You don't need everything that is required before you get started.
Yeah.
You know,
and you know, Remy, I shared this earlier by Napoleon Hill. He says one sound idea is all that you need to achieve success. Fantastic. And you got to stay committed to it. You got to let that leader in you really exercise its ability to express the desire for success. Fantastic. And go with it and overcome the fears. Because, you know, I didn't hear you say that you were afraid, but oftentimes we stop in our tracks because we're afraid, because the first person that we lead is ourselves. But what about, have you ever been afraid? Did you just, you know, go up to them? You know, it sounds like you really believed in yourself and you were expecting the best of yourself, but were you ever afraid? And if you were, how did you overcome it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was just starting out, you know, so I didn't know what to expect, you know. So in the midst of all the fear, like I told you, when I approached that woman, I didn't know what she was going to say. So but she said, I will pray about it. I said, no problem. You know, so the next time she saw me, she said, the Lord is with you. You know, and the same thing happened when I started going to USAID office in Port Harcourt. You know, so one of those days, they kept me to meet with the regional coordinator, the American woman, you know, Lady Judith Ashby. You know, so while I was waiting to see her with my friend, you know, so when she came in, she said, okay, I heard you are from Imo State. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I want to go see your governor, Chief Achike Udenwa. Would you like me to see you first or the governor? I said, see me first. Did you hear that? I said, see me first. And that was how it happened. She came to Imo State, to Owerri, Imo State, to meet me and my team. And that was the breakthrough for me. That was how we started. You know, we got supported by USAID to do our peace program in Imo State, and the rest is history. You know, so all of these did not come without challenges. They came with challenges, but you know, I set my eyes on the ball. I kept it on the ball. Yeah, I needed to make a change. I needed to, make a change and make a statement
Yes.
for my people. And by the grace of God, I am glad to have been part of the process that led to the establishment of what is today called the Imo State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission. Because if not for the roles that I played then, organizing peace advocacy meetings with traditional rulers, with youth leaders, with community leaders, and engaging with the government, with our demands for the government to start using the 13% oil derivation fund for the development of oil producing communities. Maybe by now we would have still been talking about, underdevelopment and deprivation
Yep.
in those oil producing communities in Imo State. So I'm happy for the roles that I played that, brought those changes in Imo State.
That's awesome. And so I just want to thank you for sharing your time with us today. We actually went live for some of you that's joining us right now. We actually went live earlier because he was actually traveling and we just, had a time difference, but we wanted to have that great leadership, that great integrity, and come back to you today and just share the importance of leadership. So some of you that are just joining us today, you may be saying, okay, 15 minutes of success. You typically only give us 33 minutes. But today we are doing something special because he is here in the United States. So folks, while he's here in the United States, take a moment to connect with him. Take a moment to interview him on one of your shows, one of your podcasts. Have lunch with him. Have dinner with him. He is a wealth of knowledge because he is teaching people right here today on this show about leading with integrity in the age of uncertainty and what makes leadership both difficult and vital, not only yesterday, not for the future, but for right now. So the Honorable Remy Chukwunyere is here from Nigeria, Africa, and I'm so honored to have you on our show. And I want to say a special thank you to the Ignites team and to all of our sponsors, LRI Broadcasting. We absolutely love and appreciate you. And to all of our viewers all around the world, thank you, because some of you jumped on earlier, some of you jumped on now, and for many of you that are watching the replay, we just absolutely thank you. And so with no further ado, I want to invite you to continue to help support the broadcast. And you can support the broadcast by sending your donation to Zelle or PayPal or Cash App. But more important, because this show is important. It helps me to bring and my team to bring excellent, powerful, life-changing speakers like the Honorable Remy Chukwunyere, all the way from Nigeria, Africa, to the show. But also, what I love for you to do is help us to continue to make a difference in communities. So help us with the Gabe's Heart Foundation. You can donate $22. He actually would have turned 22 January 17th. This helps us to purchase defibrillators for public spaces where our children are at in high traffic areas. So when they're experiencing sudden cardiac arrest, they have a fighting chance until first responders get there. So we welcome you to do that, to continue to help Gabe's heart keep beating, and to help the 15 Minutes of Success, Lotus Riché Ignites show, and all the things that the Lotus Riché Ignites broadcasting endeavors to do to bring excellent leaders to you day in and day out. And so I know that you're going to be speaking at this amazing event. I can't wait for you to grace us with what you're going to be telling the folks at the Entrepreneur Conference. So since you're here, I love to get a sneak peek. What can people expect to hear from you at this amazing conference? Because I know you're going to bring the power when you step in that room.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure, coming all the way from Nigeria to come speak in Florida, Palm Coast, Flagler Chamber of Commerce, they are my hosts. They invited me for the event happening on Friday, and I'm so happy, for the invitation. Like I said, I'm coming to share my experiences over the years, working with young people, with business executives, and with entrepreneurs, and let me tell you, I'm going to talk about the power of passion. The power of passion. The power of
Wow.
passion. Yes, that's what I'm going to talk about. The power of passion. So let me tell you again, I didn't know that I was born to be a teacher. I didn't know. I didn't know. But, the truth about it is that thing that God gave you as a talent, that thing that is your talent, it is your passion. Is usually what you're passionate about. And even if you make mistakes and dodge it or don't follow it because you didn't know, now God has a way of bringing you back to it. God has a way of bringing you back to it. So all those while I was doing reading sciences and all of that in the university, I abandoned teaching. Remember, I started teaching even in that primary school I told you about. I was head student. I was also teaching my mates. I went into secondary school. I was also teaching my friends, and also even organizing tutorials and making money. So I was a very good teacher. And each time I went to speak at that young age, I saw people standing and, standing ovation, clapping for me. So I said, oh, what is it? What is it that I talked about? What is it that I said that got them excited? So it got to a point that my friend, on one occasion, my friend that went with me, he said, Honorable, you better go and begin to teach in a university. They will appoint you a professor if you teach in a university. Because of the way people were applauding. So for me, it was almost embarrassing. I said, what did I say that got them excited? So, and that happens everywhere I go to speak. People get excited, they're happy, they get energized, they get impacted. So now I say, oh, that is this teaching that I was doing when I was growing up. But I said, oh, I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to be a medical doctor. I wanted to be that. I left it. So now God is bringing me back to that. And today we call it business coach, conference speaker, facilitator. All of them are teaching.
Exactly. They're all teaching. And that's interesting that you would say that. So I want to invite each and every one of you to go to the Entrepreneur Conference at the Fitzgerald Performing Arts Center at Flagler Auditorium. And it's happening Friday, June 20th at 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. And your registration starts at 7:30 a.m. and professional networking starts between, it's going to go for about 30 minutes from 8 to 8:30. And our primary thing is go and hear Honorable Remy Chukwunyere. He is the startup coach and mentor. He is in the room with a lot of excellent leaders such as himself, like Coach Steve Ryder and Sheriff Rick Staley. But go ahead and get your ticket today. Chamber of Commerce members, it's only $20, and future members, it's only $35. And so this is at the Flagler Auditorium. So make sure you don't just see him there. Make sure you beat him there to hear from him. And you have heard it, and you've probably heard it first right here on the Ignite show. His keynote discussion is going to be the power of passion. And if you're passionate about what you do, but you feel like it's just you just don't have what it takes, you can't keep going, well, guess what? He's going to show you as a leader. He's going to tell you as a leader how to take that passion and turn that passion into the power to keep you going forward, to keep you successful. Wow. So I can't wait to to hear what you're going to say. I may not be there, but I know you and I are going to have some dialogue. And hi, Reggie Stokes from Bowling Air Force Base is in the house. Great to see you, Reg. Great to see you. And to all those that are going to be at this event, be sure to take notes, because when Mr. Chukwunyere speaks, he's like E.F. Hutton. Everybody listens. So make sure you listen and you take notes. So we're going to take a quick break for a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and greet you with our final words of wisdom, and it's coming directly from our friend, our guest, our leader with high integrity, Mr. Remy Chukwunyere. We'll be right back.
Are you one of the action takers that are ready to do business with a company that knows what they're doing to enhance your customers' reach and raise their revenue? And the best way for you to do that is not sitting behind your desk hoping, wishing, and praying that it happens. The best way to get out there is making yourself visible, and I can show you how. Hi, my name is Dr. Lotus Riché from Lotus Riché Coaching and Consulting, and we consult corporations all around the world to wrap their message up in such a way that once they deliver it, people will feel almost crazy not to accept their offer and do business with them. It's time for you to get the type of business video that's going to put you in front of the winners. Because after all, you're in business to win. And we at Lotus Riché Coaching and Consulting, we can help you put together your message, put together your video, and share it with the world so that you can win. We'll see you on the inside. Connect with us today.
And we are back. And to all of our viewers that stuck with us during this time, we thank you. Our heart goes out to you with love and gratitude. And for those of you that's jumping on board and watching the replay, we appreciate you. Today on 15 Minutes of Success, I had the amazing pleasure of having the Honorable Remy Chukwunyere all the way from Nigeria, Africa, as we talked about leading with integrity in the age of uncertainty. What makes leadership both difficult and vital right now? And we talked about leadership, what it is, what it isn't, how it empowers people, how it leads them to their greatness. We also talked about integrity, why integrity and leadership go hand in hand, and how you are the first person that you lead. And it's been an amazing conversation. And we also talked about the upcoming event that he is going to be powerhouse speaking at, and you have the opportunity to get your ticket today and hear from him. Make sure you grab your ticket. So without further ado, Remy, we're going right to you for your final words of wisdom for the broadcast of the day.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Lotus, for inviting me. It's been really wonderful and amazing. Yeah, so my final word is if you want to be successful in life, whether as a businessman or as a leader, go and look for a problem to solve. Go and get a problem that you will solve. That will make you successful. You know, by solving the problem, you can begin to make money if it's a solution to the problems of the people. And if you are solving a societal problem, you become influential and become a leader that people will reckon with. So this is my final word. Go and look for a problem that you can solve for your community, and you begin to make money. I'm sure you will do that and become very influential. Thank you so much, Doctor, for bringing me here. Thank you so much. I'm so happy.
I absolutely have had a wonderful time. So, folks, go and find the problem that you can solve and be the solution, is our final words of wisdom. And so, until we meet again, we bid you be blessed, don't stress, and always do your best as you ignite and take flight in every area of your life. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you for watching the show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ring that bell so you won't miss a thing. And we'll see you on the next episode of 15 Minutes of Success, where powerful entrepreneurs share what they do so you can be successful too. If you want to be a guest on the show, please connect with us at Lotus at LotusRicheIgnitesYou.com. And we'll see you on the other side of 15 Minutes of Success. Success is in the eye of the beholder. See it, create it, and be it.